All right, we live. What's up, Facebook family, Twitch family, YouTube, everybody else out there? I have one of my favorite people ever in the history of this shop. This is Miss D.
Yeah!
Give it up for Miss D one more time.
Yeah!
That's what her desserts and her lunch bags make you do. One more again.
Yeah!
How you doing today?
I am doing absolutely wonderful.
All right. How's your week been so far?
Great.
Okay. And today is Thursday. Tomorrow's the weekend, which means what as far as your food and deliveries and stuff?
My food and delivery tomorrow consists of Hawaiian teriyaki chicken on bun, Cajun sliced turkey and cheese on croissant, and a surprise.
And a surprise.
And a surprise.
All right. So when you say, all right, so what about the desserts then?
Okay, the dessert's going to be banana pudding, banana nut bread, and probably honey bun cake.
Come on with it. So y'all, what she didn't mention, which is one of my favorites, is her brownies.
Oh, yeah.
I am a brownie fan.
Peach cobbler.
What? Listen. Hey, go. Come on with listen. All right, so just talk a little bit about your peach cobbler. Like what without going into your process or whatever, anything that you don't want to talk about in the making of it. But when did you start making peach cobbler?
Well, I've always, everything that I bring out, I've always made it. But some of the thing, it takes a little bit more time. I don't always have the consistent to do like a peach cobbler.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the other, some of the desserts that most people really like. But I usually try to stick with stuff that usually sell. Brownies, peach cobbler is a big seller. But brownies, red velvet cake, and honey bun cake, those items, you just can't make enough of them.
All right, now I got a question for you. Anybody that deals with food, I always ask this question, or it's always on my mind, right?
Right.
Do you believe in there being such a concept as putting love into what you make?
Absolutely.
And they able to tell the difference?
Absolutely.
I think so too.
Absolutely. If you don't have a love for what you do, and it's not going to be near as effective as if you was doing something else that you really love doing. So it's got to be a heart desire to bake and cook, because everybody don't like to bake and cook. They do it because they have to, because they need to. I do it because I love doing it.
I got you.
And you have to have a love for people too, because you run into all kind of people. You got to make sure your attitude and your personality is polished and shine. Yeah, everybody have them days, but you know what? You can't bring your day out in public. You got to leave that at home.
That's right. And have you always? So how far back do you go baking?
Oh boy, I started baking when I was in 11th grade.
Okay. Any crazy stories about how that came about?
Well, I don't know. I was just sitting there one day, and I used to watch my mom and my grandmother bake, and I don't know, for some reason I never even thought I would be a baker, but I wanted to make a pound cake. Yeah. And everywhere I went, that pound cake just wasn't right. It was like something was missing, and I was telling my dad about it. He said, "Well, go make your own," and I did.
All right. So your first pound cake, what was it like?
Oh, it was awesome. My dad, he told me, he said, "Well, you want me to believe you make this pound cake and you can't make a biscuit?" I said, "No, Daddy, it's not that I can't make a biscuit. I didn't want to make a biscuit." I said that pound cake, a cake, it was something that I love, and everywhere I went, it just wasn't what I wanted. So you know what? You always said, if you're not getting what you want somewhere else, then if you can do it better yourself, then step your shoes in there. So I stepped up my game. Okay. I started baking with a pound cake.
All right. So what amount of time did it go from you did that first pound cake to, okay, baking is something I want to do? Like, did that come later? Did that come immediately after that?
I knew I was gonna bake. I knew I was
From that first pound cake?
From that first pound cake.
That's what's up.
I knew I was gonna be baking. I just didn't know what all I would be baking.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. So tell me this. How do you decide what to make next?
Well, it depends on. I listen to my clients. I listen to the customer, and then sometimes I just throw something out there, and I like to give my customers too. Because you know what? That's what love is about. Love is about giving. It's not always. It's a give and take. Like I worked in some of the restaurant, and sometimes I try to give some of the customers something if they come in, because sometimes you just gotta. Inside inner spirit telling you that person is hungry, they can't afford it, but they want to. And so I almost got fired from a job, and so I understood that concept, and I said, well, you can just take it out my check. And I just knew if I had my own business, then like nobody can tell me what I can or what I cannot do.
Exactly.
If I want to give it all away, hey,
right. Oh my God, don't you hate that feeling of somebody? Oh well, I can't do it this way, I can't do it that way. Oh well, because I'm the same way. A lot of times you would be surprised. I would rather, my reasoning for having my own business and conducting my own business is different for what people typically think it is.
Yeah.
I wanted to be able to do what I wanted when I felt like it.
Yeah.
That was the difference. It wasn't even, oh well, I'm trying to make all this money. I was just like, okay, look, if I'm the same way. If I said, okay, well, if I want to do this many haircuts for free or do it this way, I don't have somebody over my shoulder telling you, well, why are you trying to do it that way? Or why would you do that? That don't make any sense. Well, I don't care if it makes sense to you or not.
That makes sense.
If it makes sense to my instincts and I want to try it, I want to try it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And and another thing too, I always keep myself and remember, without God's love and without Him in your life, you ain't gonna be successful in nothing you do. Your journey is gonna be a whole lot harder, and it's gonna be a whole lot longer because you left the first important element out your baking, and His name is Jesus. I don't care what kind of conversation I'm having. I don't ever leave His name out because He is the cause. He is the reason I get to do what I do.
Absolutely.
And you got to do it with love. If we don't do what we're doing with love, if cutting hair and being a barber wasn't a love you had, you wouldn't be here today. You wouldn't have opened up your own shop, right? So anyway.
I definitely wouldn't take on picky clients.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But and you know what? I tell you, I'm glad you mentioned it. I like picky people because you know what? Because by them being picky, you bring something else into their life by just listening to them. Because sometimes your best answer to somebody that's picky and going through something is to just be silent and listen.
Oh, absolutely.
Be silent and listen. Unless they ask you for something.
That's right. So it's funny. Okay, so we're gonna piggyback off of that, right? So I tell people all the time, because I have a larger amount of picky clients than normal.
Yeah.
Right. So somebody asked me, they was like, well, how do you deal with them? I said, it is only one way to deal with somebody ridiculously picky, and that's to be pickier than they can be. So when I'm pouring over every detail more than they can, you getting somewhere. But it's the exact same principle that you're talking about. It actually helps you improve your game and step your game up.
Yeah.
It's just annoying along the way. That's all that is.
And see, that's one thing about, I don't care what kind of business here, you got to mix it all together. You got to take the good with the bad, and you got to make that even though people make bad choices or they may say the wrong thing, but you got to let your good override that bad. That's right. And sometimes I still say, for me personally, silence is my best game. I got you. Yeah. Because, I always say a customer is always right, even when they're wrong. You make them feel like they're right. You say, I don't like this, I don't like that. Well, hey, that's okay. Tell me what you want. Tell me how I can do this, how we can get this better, because I don't ever think that, I'm not the best at, I'm not in competition. I think a lot of people, they miss the mark when they try to compete with somebody else. You got to be who you are. You got to do what you do and everything that you got into what you're doing.
Absolutely.
So, and I think success comes from loving God and loving people.
Do you have, what was tell me about the pickiest customer that you've had?
Oh, it was an elderly lady. I was at one of the shops. It's been a couple of years. In fact, I hadn't seen that lady anymore.
Okay.
I had some lunch bags that day, and she wanted to see the lunch bag, and I said,
Uh-huh.
yeah. I said, sure. And she said, well, can I hold this sandwich? I said, yes, ma'am. All my sandwiches in it's either a plastic bag or plastic wrap.
Mhm.
And I said, just remember, you can fill that sandwich, but you cannot unwrap that sandwich.
Right.
And she said, how much y'all? And I told her, so like she just pushed it back on me, and I said, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.
I respond like that too.
Yeah, I said,
Yeah.
thank you. I said, thank you very much.
You know, a lot of people hit us with the, oh, you a better person than me. I would have did a double somersault, drop kicked them in the face. I'm like, it don't call for all that.
No.
It ain't call for all that. Like,
No.
it's because it's so much. I say this, if I have, I always say, what's my ratio, right? So the person that said that to you, how many people before then gave you a glowing review?
Oh, I think I've had probably about one. I think those are the only two incidents. That was the first. Maybe no, it wasn't the first. That was one of the incidents. I know of two.
Hmm.
But anyway, and the lady, when she said, well, I'm from so, I just got back from so and so, I live in Union. I mean, I just listen. I'm telling you, you got to be a good listener.
Yeah.
You ain't, like, people are. I mean, it's something that people are struggling with on the inside, and instead of them getting with that person or getting on their knees like I do, lay on your face if you get tired and talk to God about it, and just try to. Okay, like we're sitting here now. What's wrong with just polite asking a person, say, hey, listen, can we have a conversation? Listen to them. And you know what? It may be something that you or I or somebody else did unintentionally, not knowingly. But I always say communication is one of the strongest weapon we have. But also, when you neglect the line of communication, it becomes your weakest link, and that's how things go south.
That's right.
So,
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So, but I mean, you got to love people though, and so always whatever I do, I like to do it with a smile.
Absolutely, you got a beautiful smile. Right now, you got the mask on, but y'all know how this goes. She has a wonderful, amazing, beautiful smile. I got my friend Keela. She says she needs some honey bun cake. Look, I gotta apologize. I thought I might have put you. I didn't know if you wanted your number in the description or not, so people can get in touch with you. But can we give the number out?
Absolutely.
All right. So, Keela, I'm gonna put this number out here. This number gonna pop up a few times. Go ahead and give it to me.
864.
Yes, ma'am.
494.
Okay.
2382.
All right. So we got 864-494-2382. All right. And reached at. There we go. All right, Keela, there go the number right there in the chat. Anybody else looking for the number? First of all, I'll give it to you repeatedly. The number is 864-494-2382. But I'll be putting it back in the chat if I got to. But Keela, that honey bun cake's something serious. I'm still, my favorite still the brownie, but that honey bun cake, that peach cobbler, everything she done brought. I'll tell you what. Tell them before you go, Ren. Before you go. Did you have some of that Snicker cheesecake?
Nah.
What about you, Tony? Okay. So let's talk about that Snicker cheesecake real quick.
No, it's a Snicker pie.
Snicker pie. So all right. So look, I'll start with me. She came in here. She was like, a lot of times, y'all, I don't know if it's just preferred treatment. I don't know what it is, but she'll bring us some stuff and just say, hey, this is for the shop. Y'all do y'all thing. Enjoy. She'll turn around. She'll smile that wonderful smile, and then she'll leave. And then I'm sitting there like, I just worked out 3 days in a row and it's about to be nullified because I'm going to go in on this pie. So she brought that pie. She sat it down at that table. And the first thing I did was say was, I'm about to ruin my whole week. I had never tried it before. And we took it in the back, put it in the fridge. When everybody else got here, the first thing I said was, we got Snicker Pie in the back. And everybody was like, what is that? I didn't tell them what it was. All I said was, Miss D made it. And I didn't say anything else. And I wanted to see how fast it got gone. It was only a couple, 2 days? It was a weekend. In a weekend, it was gone.
My thing is, if you want to smile like she smiled, just eat a dessert. You want to smile like she smiled, eat what she cooked. You'll smile just like she smiled. It tastes just the same. When you take that bird pie, you'll be like, just like Mama made. I am trying to tell you.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
If y'all don't know, y'all better stop sleeping.
Stop playing. What can you tell me about your experience, Tony?
We'll come back to it.
Okay, all right, we'll come back to what went into you deciding, all right, I just want to try a Snicker Pie.
Well, you like to try different stuff, and you, like I said earlier, you just try, you do you, and throw it out there and see and get reviews.
So you're the type that talks about listening to your clients. Did one of your clients say, hey, you need to do something with Snickers?
Nope.
Gotcha. Okay.
No, they didn't. It was, well, with this pandemic, you have a lot of time to think. And see, I don't go out 5 days like I used to. I just go out like one day, and I spend the other time like doing other stuff and like just, like meditating, what can I do? And I was eating a Snicker. Well, I wasn't eating it, but I had it, and I started eating. I went, what about a Snicker pie? And I was going through some recipes.
Yeah.
I'm going like, hey, yes, yippee, like kids ain't gonna be yippee, yeah, I'm gonna try it. And you never know what people like, but you won't know what they like, and you also won't know what they don't like if you don't ever take a chance.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to take a risk.
Do you feel like there's a certain limit though to where you say, okay, look, I don't want to be up all night making, 10 different desserts, and I may get feedback on some. I may get is there a limit to you to where you say, okay, I don't want to spread myself thin?
Well, I think I stopped that by 2 years ago. I mean, I wasn't spreading myself thin, but I was just, hey, I was up to like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was trying to I was trying to bake and do this and do that and cook, and I was trying to go out, and it was, and I couldn't find no reliable help, because I work from my home. A lot of people say, where you live at? When you work from your home, your address and your location is off record. So
That's
that
right.
is, it's unavailable, because like I said, when you bring somebody in your private home, as my dad used to say, you got to have somebody that's equal to your ability and you're trustworthy. It's got to be above yours. And that, and I don't know but 2 people that had that, and that was my mom and my grandmother. Now I got some people that I would trust, but you know what? But do they want to do this? Yeah. But you know what? I'm telling you, baking and cooking, it ain't like just going in a restaurant. It takes a lot of work, and you know what? And if it ain't for you, don't get in it. Yeah. Don't get in it. Because,
absolutely. That's such a tough business.
Because everybody is different. You can't allow people to change your behavior. You got to change their behavior to the not to the negative, but to the positive. Yes, and the only way you're gonna do that is listen and learn. You don't have to respond to every positive word, and you definitely don't want to respond to every negative word. But you want to stay the course. Yeah, and I can say this too. I've seen it just with food in general, and we're gonna get to your actual food as well. People love to eat. Yeah. Not only do people love to eat, like when you think about this for a second. So just like haircuts will transform somebody, food is probably the quickest way I've seen somebody's mood change, right? Like you might wake up mad, but if you eat
say your favorite breakfast is like said a biscuit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody hit you with you get a homemade sausage and egg biscuit or whatever, right? Your mood gonna change.
Yeah. Pretty much. I eat a bologna and egg with a bologna and egg. And,
where Calvin when I need where is Calvin when I need him? We talk about bologna and egg for like a whole hour if my boy Calvin was here.
And some of my customers they like the bologna, egg, and onion. Like I said, the more you ask, the more items I have to put on there. You're not out here for charity, but you do give. But food is high now.
Yeah. How fast would you say food would change somebody's mood?
If it's something that they like, it could change it
that fast, right?
It could change it that instantly.
Listen, yes. I know somebody think about it this way too. Mm-hmm. So people talk about the term comfort eating. Mm-hmm. Like you got the term comfort food, but when I'm talking about comfort eating, where somebody that may feel bad about everything else in their life, they ain't gonna feel bad about eating.
No, if it's good and they like it, and that's gonna be something that they like to talk about. And it's sometimes it just take one person to start a change, and that change will continue. Yeah,
we do we do that all the time up in here. You see it for yourself. You'll walk in, and I have clients. I ain't gonna say any names to protect the guilty, but I have clients all the time sitting up in here. What she got over there? What she selling? What kind of food she got? Is it any good? I'm like, look, man, ask that part out loud. That's the part you ask out loud, because you are so receiving of feedback. Yeah, I beg them. Nah, So anytime you see me and I ask a question, right now, I know the answer. I'm asking for somebody else, right? Because I love your brownie. Yeah. So you might look at me and I say, well, how much are your brownies, Miss D? Now I know there's something in your mind that says, now P get brownies from me all the time. How in the world he don't know how much they cost? No. I'm asking for somebody else because they say, I don't know why they so afraid to ask you, but they like, well, what you got over there? They don't even. I don't know. It's strange. It's very strange.
But I understand that, and see, that's because you got to understand people. I've worked with people all my life because I worked in the medical field. And you know what? I still say, if you be quick to listen and slow to speak, you can learn a whole lot about people. And then when they finish, sometimes you say, hey, it's okay. Mm-hmm. It's not complicated. A lot of times we make it complicated.
Mm-hmm. You said you worked in the medical field.
Yeah, I worked at the hospital. I worked in the hospital, I sure
How long?
I worked in the medical field for 40-some years.
That makes a lot of sense now.
And
I already from one patient person to another. Like, you see that right there, right? I tell everybody the P stands for patience, right? That's my new little slogan. But yeah, so with that being said, I can see how all of that. Do you feel like that 40 years in that field translated to what you do now?
No, because I was doing this when I was working in the medical field. It was just, I'm telling you, it's got to be a desire that you.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, not as far. I'm saying as far as like listening to people, on a humane level.
I mean, well, listening to people is gonna come from all aspects of life. I used to listen to my mom and daddy. Mm-hmm. He used to say, he said, I worked a third shift in the mill, and when I was on training, I loved it. But hey, when they turned me on loose, I think I was in the spinning room, and on third shift, and I said, "Oh Lord," I said, "I ain't gonna get." And Mr. Elsie, I said, "Daddy, will you please tell me to go on? I ain't going back." He said, "I've been telling you all your life, get back in school." He said, "You know what? You're gonna have to find what you love and start your own business." Mm-hmm. And I did, and I knew it was baking because I used to bake for some of the doctors at the hospital. They have events and stuff, and I used to bring big cookie trays for parties and stuff. So some of the doctors, they said, "How much would this cost? We had a party at my house. Can you do this or can you do that?" I said, "I can do that." Are
any of those still customers of yours?
No, they retired, and they have, some of them have retired and they've moved out of town.
Yeah, that moving to get you. I had so many great clients I lost because they moved.
But that's all right. But you know what? I always say, when you don't lose them, they pass. They move on. And so hey, the women, the door is open. God will bring over in there. It's a flourishing business. It's a thriving business. Even like with hair and barber, people like what they like.
People like what they like, and that's
food,
fine by me. Yeah, food is that one.
Thing, as I know, it's two things about people. Men's love to get their haircut, and female, we love to get our haircut because we like to look good. And it's one thing we all got this in common: we love to eat, and we like good food.
That's right. Right. Okay. All right.
Good food.
We've had endless debates about this, right? Somebody will say this phrase, I want something good, right? But they'll say it in the context like, okay, so all the stuff you've been eating previously haven't been good. What does that mean to you? What does that phrase mean to you? You say, okay, I want something to eat and I want something good today.
Well, it might be something that I ate somewhere else, but you know what? I can still make that, but I can put my own personality in it. Mm-hmm. I can make it the way I like to make it, and that makes it better. Yeah.
But what's your favorite dessert? Before we get on your food, what's your favorite dessert personally?
I actually didn't know more.
Probably pound cake.
Okay, and then with that being said, you said your mom baked and your grandmother.
They both did.
All right, what was your favorite desserts from each one of them?
They used to make cobblers. My mom used to make blackberry cobbler and blackberry dumpling. And my grandmother, she just made everything. She made everything. She made, and I learned how to make my first fruit cake watching my grandmother make it. Cause see, we had wine patches and wine fields, and see, my mom used to bake pies for this company. It was off of Pine Street, but it's no longer there anymore. And I worked there for a while, and so it was just like, hey, just watching, watching. And like the chicken salad and we ain't got to that.
No, go ahead.
And cause I know it was one girl in Greer. She said, my husband wanted to know if I can get your recipe to make the chicken salad. I said, well, it's not. No, she said, what site did you go online? I said, no, I didn't get this offline. I said, this is
passed down.
No, they never made chicken salad. It was something that I wanted to do.
All right.
Yeah, I just got it. I just started getting chicken before they start rotate, rotisserie chicken. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, washing chicken now, like when you're doing portraits, you got to have your own clean space, because if you don't, you can contaminate everything in there, and then that space you got to keep it clean, and you just have to have that board just for that. And when you clean it up and finish, you put it aside. But that's the greatest thing that happened for me is I can go buy them chicken and then get my other ingredients and just work at it until I get it to wherever I want it to the consistency that I like.
Okay, so let's talk about your food. What was the first thing beyond desserts as far as food that you started making and selling?
Chicken salad and meatloaf.
Chicken salad and meatloaf.
Chicken salad and meatloaf.
And I had the pleasure of having your meatloaf. Yeah. I don't know if have I had your chicken salad.
And I used to make my father, that's my mama guy. He used to love vegetable soup, sweet potato pie, and cornbread. And if you got that, boy,
that's a classic combination though, that vegetable soup and cornbread.
That's what he
can't beat it.
And sweet potato pie, that's what he liked. Oh, my daughter, now we lived in Chester, but we come down and that's what I have, sweet potato pie. And it's a lot of stuff, like beef stew and rice. It's just
I love beef stew.
It's just so much, but because everybody said, when you gonna open up your shop?
Do you want to though?
I thought about it. Well, see, when I start baking, I was going. I always said, I want to bake, and I said, I wonder what it would be like to have my own bakery. But see, it goes back. You got to have accountable people.
Absolutely.
To
I always go back to accountability.
You got to have an accountable accountant. Somebody that don't have sticky fingers. I'm just putting this out there,
Right. Those are those hidden things people don't talk about.
And I always tell people, hey, get your contract. When I don't care who it is. When you open up your own business and you have other people, you need a contract because you know what? People change. They can say this and they can say that, but if you got it documented, that's your burden of proof right there. You go to court.
Yeah.
They want where's your documentation?
Where's the paper?
That's what you need. People think family exempt. No, family is not exempt from a document. Nope.
Matter of
If
fact,
they get mad, it's okay.
that's definitely who you need to throw a contract on. I hate to say it, but it is what it is.
But anybody, like that's what people do. They get mad, but it's okay. They'll get over it. But then, cause you got the next,
Yeah.
just be real, be honest, and be true, and you'll do great.
Have you had those experiences before? Just with being burned, basically.
No, the other time this girl she saw me in a beauty shop. It was crosstown. It's been years ago, and she wanted a pound cake. Well, I baked the pound cake, and I always suggest the person that is buying that cake, you meet me at this location. But she sent her friend, and I let him say, I said, well, if it's not what you want, you don't have to take it. You're not obligated. I said, but once we transition this cake to from my hand to yours, that's on you. And so she called me back. She sent me a picture, and she called me. And she said the cake had dried out. I said the cake had dried out. I said, well, how so? So she sent me a picture, and she had it wide open on the table. They had cut it, and I said, ma'am,
you can't do that.
I said, you can't do that. I said, I didn't know that you didn't know how to secure your cake. And I said, I don't ask customers if they know what they know.
Right.
You go in a store, you buy a cake, you don't ask them. If you ask for information, I'm sure they'll give it to you. And I said, ma'am, I'm not responsible for how you treat your food once it leaves my hands to yours.
Right.
So, like I said, that other lady that was filling that food and stuff, I done the only two incidents that I know of.
I got you. That's a. Go ahead.
Cause I got a lunch.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, wait a minute. That's my dad. That's back down the road.
Oh, do your thing.
Hello? Hi, Miss.
So yeah, Miss D can be reached 864-494-2382.
Okay.
Can I have some of your soda?
No, you cannot.
I got mine
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're watching y'all. Stop in and say
I'll
what's
be
up.
by there in a few minutes.
Can I have some of your
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
No.
Yeah.
I'm coming. You getting ready to come right here.
But anyway, so
That's fine. This is just part one. I got a zillion more questions for you.
Oh, okay.
But not today.
Oh, I got
a zillion more questions for you.
Okay.
But do you got anything you want to add before you go?
I just like to share with everybody. Find your passion and follow your passion. And when you follow your passion, then and whatever it is, and ask God to give you clear direction, you'll do great.
All right, I couldn't have said it better. I'm gonna see y'all in like 2 minutes because I got some barber review to do. But Miss D, I will see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do tomorrow, whatever you bring tomorrow, I'm gonna get something, and I'm gonna talk about it on this very same live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I got brownies. And see, that's another thing. Usually, if I get my desserts out the way, everything, the desserts are the most. It's more strategic because I try to do prep. And, you can prep, for your dessert and get them out. It takes you sometimes about a day or two to get, depending on what you're baking. You get your desserts out the way, then hey, the rest of it is pretty smooth.
That's it. All right, y'all. We're gonna see y'all later.
God bless
Tell everybody.
everybody.
Peace.
Peace. Love.